Guys, welcome back to Going Off Grid My Way. Sorry I haven't posted anything in a little over a week. Um, let's see, July 5th, I was off. It was the end of my week. It was my Saturday, which was actually Wednesday. And I didn't have to work my other job because the guy I work with was sick. So I came home. Well, I was already home, and instead of going to work, I took down the greenhouse. In the process of doing so, the back wall, just the wood, I had already got the first wall here, and then all the plastic and everything taken down. It was just the last back wall there, because the storm had come through and shredded the plastic up pretty bad. So it was really not doing anything else for the rest of the year. I just wanted to get it down and get it done with for the year. But I only had it staked into the ground, and with all the storms and everything we've had, it broke the stakes, and I didn't know this, and I had pulled something and turned around, and the wall fell on me, hit me in the back. Granted, it wasn't very heavy, maybe a couple 100 pounds, but when you get hit in the back, you get hit in the back, and it's gonna hurt. Needless to say, I didn't notice how bad it was at first because my adrenaline was pumping, and I just really wasn't paying any attention to it. I was just trying to get it done. Um, I just kind of threw the last of it over here in a pile. I didn't even finish taking it apart. I ended up going in the house. This was only like 9 o'clock in the morning. I started early on it. And I went in the house and took a nap. Woke up, could not move. Like I said, this was Wednesday. Thursday, I couldn't even breathe without it hurting. So needless to say, I went into the hospital Thursday night. As soon as I was able to get up off the floor, basically I just popped my back out of place like I've done in the past. I've had a couple years there was severe injury to my back, and I ended up crushing a couple discs in my back, and it took a couple years to recoup from that. Well, needless to say, I did it again. Um, let's see, today's Wednesday. It's been a week now. I'm able to walk around without too much of an issue, as long as I don't sneeze, cough, or laugh, because that always hurts and shoots pain everywhere, and it just cripples me, and I just want to collapse. So I'm doing better than I was last week. Neighbor came over yesterday. He does construction, and I had the lumber sitting here for this end wall here. So I sat back and watched him. He put these two sections of this end wall together for me, because he knows I'm hurting and this stuff's got to get done. He also cut out a little section of the roof where the wall is going to be taller than the roof, so that it should slide up in there, but he couldn't stand the walls up once he built them by himself, and I can't help him, at least right now. So that's kind of just sitting here. This window is going to go in the bottom section of that wall. Birds are out tearing up the yard, eating grass. I put the turkeys in the pig pen. Had the kids all weekend, which wasn't very easy, but I got a little bit of work out of them. I got all the rocks. I had them put all the rocks over here inside the area so I can let the grass grow, and pulled some of the onions and fed them to the rabbits slowly. Chickens pretty much destroyed the lettuce bed. They're making a little sand pit out of it. Same thing over in the asparagus. Not much I can do about it. I can barely move around half the time without medication. Yeah, really nothing's really happened. I haven't been to work in a week now, a little over a week. Grass needs to be cut, but I can't sit for more than 5-10 minutes at a time, so that ain't gonna happen for a while. Potato plants, all the seed potatoes that I planted are they're all sprouting, some faster than others, but they are all coming up. I did manage to get the tomatoes strung up last week. Looks like the strings come off of a couple of them. Chickens keep going in and out of here. I got them mostly staked up here. Oh, the radishes are gone. Fed the rest of them to the rabbits. Got mushrooms popping up here. Got mushrooms popping up in the front yard. A little bit of the lettuce left, but because it's midsummer now and it's just not tasting that good. My 2.5 rows of corn still growing. Lost a couple more of the vine plants. I don't know. I think it's just too much heat. Not enough rain up there. I got little tomatoes growing on these tomato plants, the ones I cut all the branches off of and let the suckers take over, and those things are a little over 4 foot tall. These other ones haven't really done anything. I'm kind of surprised. They grew and then they just stopped growing, and they haven't changed color or nothing. But it's everything out of the greenhouse. We've got some pests in here. They're starting to eat the cabbage. But I haven't gotten any strawberries in a while. I think there's a critter eating all them too. What else? We did have one plant death. This one here. Underneath that one broke off. But yeah, like I said, these tomatoes right here, they're not really doing anything. I don't know what's going on with them. But it's all the piping from the greenhouse. But I ended up having the kids rake this all up for me, and it needs to get the grass cut again. What else did I get done last week? Let's see. Water tank's just about empty. Neighbors did come up, but they didn't say anything about wanting it still or not. I didn't even have a chance to ask them. I didn't even think about it. But I did get this area cleaned up a little bit. I've got a trailer full here. I got back there cleaned up, put some boards up. Got some of this cleaned up last week. But other than that, not a lot's happening. So let me take you over and show you some of these other mushrooms that are coming up over here. There's a couple different ones. They're orange and red. I don't know if how well you can see them right there and right there. There was a few more, but with the rain they keep dying and coming back. So, oh, and I didn't get the tower from the neighbor. So that's here too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure what these little raspberries, the wild ones, are doing over here on the edge of the woods. They're not really. They got berries on them, but they're not changing colors. They're not growing. They're not really doing anything. The neighbor's got a whole bunch of raspberries in his backyard that they've been picking, and the kids went over there Sunday and picked a bunch and brought them back. But yeah, other than that, nothing really's been going on. Haven't been getting much of anything done. Just kind of laying around and relaxing, trying to recoup so I can get back to work and make some money, because I'm not making any money right now, and that's not okay. But like I said, that end wall is going to be up. I figured out what I need to get this side wall here done, and this end wall here temporary. That'll eventually be the end for the other side here. But it'll be about $350 for that back wall to do that whole section, and then about another $140 for this one. I went and priced out the materials for the trusses and everything. It was a little over $1,500 for the trusses, 16 something with it delivered. The roofing was going to be about $1,700, and that's only to get me to here. That's 32 feet to the end of this board. So, but that's almost half the house. Like I said, the house is 76, so that'll be a good chunk. It'll make it a lot easier to do this other half when I have to move everything, because this end of the house is going to have to be emptied for a week or so while there's no roof on it, and everything's going to have to go in the other side of the house, which is not going to be easy because that's where all the big furniture is. It'll be a lot easier to do this other end because I'll have more rooms to spread all the stuff out in. So it is what it is. A little bit at a time, we get pretty far eventually. It's just going to take some time. More than likely, these little trees right here are going to have to come out just so we can get the trusses in. I'm going to talk to the neighbor about these other trees right here, see if we can get those taken out. One, because they're going to be in the way to get the trusses in, and two, they block any solar that I would be getting. I'm also thinking about taking these two trees right here in the front yard, just so it's not blocking the sun too much. And possibly that one, it's right outside the window, because at some point there's going to be solar panels across the roof. So starting with those three. But yeah, I'm just trying to get everything situated, and like I said, he's going to be putting in a new place and a pole barn. Said something about cutting a bunch of trees down, so I'm hoping he takes this big one too. So it's a conversation for me and him to have down the road. I'm not too concerned at the moment, but just trying to figure everything out while I got time off. I can't do much anything else. I did have my son drill some holes and put the bolts in with Lindsay's help. She's also going in for surgery on Friday. Nothing major, just some minor stuff's got to be taken care of. So it's going to be a long week. I got to pick up the kids also on Friday, so it's not going to be easy. But everything's got to get done one way or the other by winter. So I did talk to my tree cutting buddy. That's why I cleaned up all that scrap and loaded it all up in a trailer. I'm going to see if me and him can barter another deal like we did before, cutting some trees. I want to get these two trees down over here this spring. Well, now, midsummer I should say, almost fall, so that they can be used for firewood. And I can have that opened up because I need to get all them trees that I have planted in pots over here in the ground. So I'm kind of waiting on him. He said he was going to come by sometime this week, so I should probably give him another call. But yeah, if he can get them on the ground, I can work out a deal with my neighbor to cut it all up. So I figured there's a couple cords worth of wood there. Even if I don't get them logged up and split for this year, it's here for next year. I just got to get it down on the ground and piled up. I still need to, so at some point, put this pile of burn and garbage and everything else that's been there, and get that in the back and start working on that berm, because the leaves are going to be falling, and that's all going to be covered in leaves pretty soon. But, you know, I did. Let me show you a quick. Let me show you a quick little harvest here. These are what I got for potatoes from by the duck pen. Most of the plants have died off due to the chickens and the ducks and the guineas and everybody over there eating on them. But this is what I pulled out of here. I mean, they're not real big. You see from my hand, they're maybe 3 inches, the biggest one. But you know, it's a meal. And I'm starting to dry some of the beans for seeds. Some of these are already getting pretty dry. So, oh, and I do have some peas in here too. So these will be for next year, since I know these are going to grow and they're already acclimated to the climate. I'm going to be doing that with whatever I can get. Some of the corn will also be saved. Tomato seeds too. So just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Like I said, I haven't been getting much done, so bear with me on my videos. But that's it for going off grid my way. Talk to y'all later.